Hey guys, so I'm making another suggestion video today, although this video is going to be a little bit different. The reason why is because this video is actually using other people's suggestions, and I have multiple reasons for this, but one big reason why I decided to use other people's suggestions was mainly due to the fact that when I try and make my own suggestions to the game, I feel like people are taking my suggestions like too specifically. My whole intention of making the suggestion videos is to just bring attention to that area. And so the specifics of the suggestion, like percentages or level requirements or what have you, it was not meant to be set in stone. They were obviously meant to be tweaked. I was just sort of giving examples of how it could change, but not the only way it could change. But yeah, with these suggestions, these were suggestions that were pretty highly praised by the community that have sort of just drifted into the void, and they're not really talked about, and I don't think anything is really going on with that. Considering that these suggestions were made by other people means that it inherently has somebody already agreeing to it, so instead of me just throwing out like a seemingly random idea, I'm showing you an idea that already has at least more than one person that's supporting this idea. So in that way, it seems a lot more easier to accept knowing that it's not just one person just speculating. And I think there are some good suggestions in there, so I wanted to bring back these suggestions so that people may be exposed to these and may agree and maybe want a poll to have these later implemented into the game. All of the original posters are credited in the description, and I'll try to do my best to credit them within the video. I know these are other people's suggestions, so I want to give credit where credit is due. This suggestion coming in hot from jfdlaks. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. The first suggestion is to have a build mode teleport as secondary teleport option for your teleport to house. This is to save time whenever you're training construction, and I know there's going to be people out there who's going to say, well, what about the teleport to outside of the portal option? And that's true, but it does waste a little bit of time. So a quick fix would just be to have a secondary teleport option to the teleport to house, or there could be a setting in your house where you could change the teleport to house to automatically go to the build mode. I assume this is probably the least demanding in terms of programming out of all the suggestions, so pretty simple idea, but I feel like it would save people a lot of time. Our next suggestion comes in from bengace. Bengazi, and his suggestion is to make potion barrels for a player-owned house, which essentially would just be storage containers for potions. He states that two ways that this could be helpful would be being able to drink an anti-venom before teleporting to Zora, which would free up an inventory spot, or being able to store a stamina potion for pretty much anything you're doing throughout RuneScape. Mod Kieran actually did respond to this post, and he said that he really did like the idea, but unfortunately that was 6 months ago, and as far as I'm aware, nothing has sort of been going through with this, so maybe a refresher of this idea would be helpful. Also, I do believe that this is somewhat easy to program, as the Nightmare Zone already has barrels to store potions, and in your player-owned house there's already barrels that you can store beer in, so if you could just combine the two, then you would essentially have what this idea is suggesting. Our next suggestion comes in from Yo-Yo241, and he suggests that your player-owned house portals have a second destination regarding to the original teleportation spell. So for instance, the Varrock teleport can teleport you to the Varrock Square, or it could teleport you to the Grand Exchange. So the suggestion means that it would just have that second option for the portal. Again, this is a super simple idea, but I did read the comments, and apparently this was discussed by the J mods before, and they said that the reason why they hadn't done this is because the fact that the portals apparently have a fixed data storage. So having that second option would overload the portal. So what my suggestion would be is to have sort of like a modifier attached to the portal where it could completely just change the destination of the portal. Without having to fiddle with the scrying pool, you would just simply click the modifier right next to the portal, and then it would just automatically change what the portal would go to. Our next suggestion comes in from the level 15, and his suggestion is a couple of updates to the minigame tab for the player-owned house. The first point is that on the minigame tab, the teleport function of the minigame tab doesn't do anything, despite the fact that there are specified locations for house portals. And lastly, the join clan chat button brings you to a neglected clan chat channel, whereas the 07 alter clan chat channel is recognized by Mod Matt K as the official clan chat for player-owned houses. Before I want to get into the last and personally my favorite suggestion, I'm going to give an honorary mention to Captain Glant, and his suggestion is to make a gramophone that essentially plays music for the entire house to hear. Now, the reason why I made this an honorary mention is because of the fact that most people don't play music, so this isn't exactly something that would benefit game mechanics, and this is just sort of like an extra thing that some people may use. So it's definitely not as important as I think the other suggestions were, but some people may enjoy this suggestion, so I just wanted to put that out there. And the last suggestion, my personal favorite, comes in from bengace again. And his suggestion is to make a house party finder for the house portal. Honestly, I've thought about this since probably I first started RuneScape. It just kind of felt like trading before the Grand Exchange, where it was kind of clunky and it wasn't very efficient. And I was kind of surprised that this was never an actual thing that was implemented into the game. Something that I would sort of add on to this idea is, instead of, because his idea was to have a second option on the house portal, but since we already know that the portals inside the player-owned houses do have sort of like this data limit, I would assume it would sort of be the same for like the outside portal. So my idea is to have sort of like a little post next to the player-owned houses that would do essentially the same thing. And I feel like it might be a little bit easier that way. Instead of having to like right-click the portal, you would just go straight to this little post next to the portal to look at different houses and who's hosting it. But his graphics that he made were really, really well done. I probably wouldn't have done it better than he did. So props to this guy. Show this guy some love. And seriously, this guy really did work hard on his graphics. So make sure to give this guy credit. Anyways, those are all the suggestions. I hope you enjoyed. If you thought this video was entertaining or you liked any of the suggestions throughout, I would highly appreciate a like or some feedback throughout the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.